The film starts with a group of children sitting together and watching the TV show Teletubbies. Suddenly they hear loud screams from outside. The noises scare them, but before they can react, a man rushes in and slams the door shut, worried that the children might hear too much. The kids don't understand what is happening and just stare at each other in confusion. Soon after, a woman enters the room carrying a little girl. She leaves the girl with the group and warns the children not to leave the room under any circumstances. Without giving any reason, she checks the locks carefully and then leaves in a hurry. Moments later, strange and frightening sounds echo from outside, shattering glass, screams and chaos. The children are terrified and try to stay quiet. A curious boy slowly walks toward the door. As he listens, he realizes someone is trying to break in. Suddenly the door bursts open and a zombie storms inside. The children freeze in fear. The boy nearest the door panics as he watches the creature attack. Overwhelmed, he falls down, then spots his mother outside. Desperate, he runs to her, but as soon as she notices the zombie, she quickly shuts the door to protect him. Scared and confused, the boy runs upstairs only to find more infected people waiting. With nowhere safe to go, he keeps running through the chaos. He stumbles, falls, but doesn't stop until he reaches an old church. Exhausted, he enters and sees his father, who is the priest of the church. Calm and unafraid, the priest looks as though he had been waiting for his son all along. Then Jimmy tries to explain what he saw. But his father gently interrupts, saying he already knows and has confessed everything. He removes his cross necklace, gives it to Jimmy and tells him to hide. Jimmy obeys and hides while zombies break down the church doors. His father doesn't move or resist as the creatures swarm and bite him, turning him into one of them. Horrified but determined, Jimmy waits for the right moment before escaping. He clutches the cross necklace tightly as if it were his last hope, and runs without looking back at the church. The story then reveals that a deadly infection called the Rage virus has spread across the country, turning people into zombies. In response, Europe quarantines the island, enforcing a strict lockdown where no one can enter or leave. 28 years later, a small group of survivors are still struggling to live. In one of the isolated communities, a father wakes his son and tells him that today is an important day. The boy named Spike quickly gets up and packs his bag. Around them, the other villagers are also preparing, carrying simple weapons they made themselves: spears, knives and bows. There are no guns here. Their handmade tools show how they've learned to survive with very little, almost like people from ancient times. Spike carries a bow, arrows and a sharp dagger. He also keeps a small doll, a reminder of the old world before the virus. Though it has no use in battle, it's something he refuses to let go of. When he goes to the kitchen, he sees his father's old friend and neighbor waiting for breakfast. Then Spike hears his mother's weak voice calling. She has been sick for some time. His father Jimmy goes into her room and Spike follows. His mother apologizes for disturbing them and hugs Spike. She admits she has had a terrible headache all morning. Though she tries to stay strong, her weakness is clear. Jimmy tells her firmly that they are leaving this land today. Worried, she argues that Spike is only 12 years old and she herself is unwell. But Jimmy refuses to listen and walks out, leaving Spike behind. Spike stays with his mother a little longer, comforting her in a way his father never could. Before leaving, he gives her some food wrapped in a handkerchief and lies, saying he is just going to school. Believing him, she lets him go. Outside, their neighbor hands Spike his first proper bow. It is more than just a weapon, it is a symbol, a sign that Spike is ready to face something bigger. When Spike and his father step out of the village, the people gather around and shouting their support. There are no smiles, only serious faces. Everyone knows this is a dangerous mission, and many have tried before, none ever returned. At the edge of the community, where the safe zone ends, the leader warns Jimmy and Spike, if they go to the mainland no one will be able to rescue them. Still they continue. Soon they discover a hidden path across the sea. This narrow strip of land only appears when the water level drops. They walk across carefully and after some time reach the mainland. The hidden path disappears behind them as the sea level rises, making it impossible for anyone to cross back. As Jimmy and Spike move deeper into the mainland, they suddenly hear a strange haunting song. Following the sound, they come across several terrifying infected. These zombies look far worse, their bones stick out through torn skin, their bodies are stretched unnaturally, and their eyes glow with a horrifying emptiness. These are the creatures Spike must face. His mission is clear, he has to take down an infected person on his own. This is the test that will prove he is ready to survive. Jimmy warns him, "You must be fast, fearless, and your aim must be perfect." Soon they see their first target, an oversized slow-moving zombie crawling along the ground. Its skin is thick and swollen and it drags itself forward like a giant snake. Spike doesn't hesitate. He raises his bow, pulls the string tight and fires an arrow straight into the creature's neck. The zombie collapses instantly and dies. For a moment Spike feels both shock and pride. He did it. But the danger is far from over. More infected begin appearing from the shadows. Though they are slow, their numbers quickly increase. Jimmy, who has faced such threats many times before, calmly begins killing them one by one, showing no fear. Then comes the most horrifying sight, a child infected and moving toward them. Both Jimmy and Spike step back. Neither of them wants to fight a child, even in this state. But deep inside, Spike feels a strange sense of confidence. He has already killed other zombies, something not easy for anyone to do. With his father beside him, he believes he can face whatever comes next. The two continue moving forward until they discover an old abandoned house. Hoping to find supplies, they decide to go inside. But the moment they enter, the atmosphere changes. In one room they see a man hanging upside down, his body lifeless while crows peck at his flesh. On his chest, words have been carved forming the name Jimmy. Jimmy looks at his son with a serious face and warns him that many survivors on the mainland are not good people. Living in isolation, losing everything, has turned some humans into something worse than the infected. They do terrible, unimaginable things, so cruel they haunt even a person's dreams. The sight of the hanging man made everything clear. He had been left that way on purpose as a warning. Jimmy told Spike that he needed to finish the man without hesitation. "This isn't just about safety," he said. "It's about survival. Out here, there is no room for doubt and no second chances." Nervous but determined, Spike raised his bow. After a brief hesitation, he fired an arrow straight into the man's head, killing it quickly. With the task done, father and son moved deeper into the mainland. Along the way they saw a horrifying sight, the severed head of a deer hanging, while its torn body lay scattered on the ground. Jimmy immediately realized this wasn't the work of ordinary zombies. These were signs of alpha zombies infected with the rage virus who were far more dangerous. Unlike the slow, mindless infected, alphas could think, plan and attack with terrifying speed and aggression. Fear gripped both of them as they spotted a group of alpha zombies in the distance, heading their way. Jamie quickly pulled Spike close and laid out a plan. "We must run and shoot. Never stop moving or they'll overwhelm us." Panic filled the air as they tried to fight while retreating. But Spike, crushed by fear, couldn't make his shots count. Despite all his training, he froze under pressure and the swarm grew closer. With no choice, Jamie dragged Spike back to the old house. They forced their way inside and climbed into the attic. Quickly they blocked the doors and windows with whatever they could find, furniture, wood and scraps, building a makeshift barricade. Outside, the alpha zombies gathered on a nearby hill, watching and waiting. Jimmy and Spike realized they couldn't risk returning to the island now. It was too dangerous. As night fell, they spotted a bonfire blazing in the distance. Spike was confused and asked what it meant. Jimmy admitted he didn't know, even though he had been here before. That night Spike had a terrifying nightmare. He dreamt of his mother drowning in water, her face sinking beneath the waves. The vision shook him to his core and he woke up trembling. But another danger was waiting. The rotten attic floor suddenly gave way beneath them. They narrowly escaped falling through and realized the house could no longer shelter them. They had to return to the island immediately. Fortune favored them, the secret path through the sea had reappeared. Without wasting time they rushed across it, desperate to reach safety. But the alpha zombies had been watching all along. One of them, incredibly fast, sprinted after Jamie and Spike. Their fear doubled as they ran for their lives, reaching the island just in time. From the village tower, their community saw the danger and fired a rain of arrows at the alpha. The arrows slowed it but didn't kill it. Finally someone shot a flaming arrow that struck the monster directly. The alpha roared in agony, burned and collapsed dead at last. The entire community breathed a sigh of relief. For now they were safe. When Spike returned to the island, the entire community celebrated. People cheered for him. Jimmy proudly told everyone about the mission, explaining every detail of how Spike had faced danger bravely. He wanted the whole community to know how intelligent and strong his son was. But while the celebrations continued, Spike noticed something that broke his heart. He saw his father secretly leave with another woman. Shocked and upset, Spike didn't say anything to anyone. Quietly he left the party and walked back home. At home their old neighbor was waiting for him. The moment he saw Spike's face, he knew something was wrong. He tried to comfort the boy and Spike confessed his biggest worry: his mother's illness was only getting worse. No medicine, no rest was helping and it was tearing him apart inside. The neighbor then told Spike about a doctor, once famous for his skills, who might have been able to save her. But years ago, this doctor had disappeared and no one had seen him since. When Spike mentioned the strange bonfire he had seen burning during the mission, the neighbor's eyes widened. He explained that if the fire was still burning, it could only mean one thing: the doctor was still alive. That meant Spike's mother still had a chance. The next morning, Jimmy stumbled home drunk. Spike, who had held his feelings in for so long, finally exploded. He accused Jimmy of cheating on his mother because he had seen him with another woman. He also shouted that Jimmy had hidden the truth that the doctor was alive. Caught off guard, Jimmy admitted it. He confessed that years ago, on the mainland, he had seen the doctor in his uniform surrounded by piles of dead bodies. It looked like he was running some terrifying experiment, and the scene had been so disturbing that Jimmy vowed never to go near him again. But Spike had already made up his mind. He told his father directly that he would take his mother to the doctor himself, no matter how dangerous it was. When Jimmy tried to argue, Spike pulled out a knife in anger. But Jimmy, stronger and calmer, easily took it from him. Without punishing his son, he quietly walked away. Spike, however, was determined. He came up with a plan. He would set fire to things in the community to create chaos. The smoke and destruction would distract everyone, giving him the perfect chance to escape with his mother. Soon he put his plan into action. In the confusion, he helped his weak and trembling mother leave the village. As they hurried toward the mainland, his mother realized where Spike was taking her. Frightened, she tried to resist, but Spike gently reassured her that everything would be fine. His only wish was to reach the doctor and save her life. That night, as darkness fell, they stopped to rest. His mother, tired and struggling with her illness, leaned on him while Spike silently prayed that his risky decision would save her. As night fell, Spike and his mother rested, but danger was never far away. While Spike slept deeply, a strange, oversized zombie crept toward him. Its body slithered across the ground like a giant serpent, moving silently until it was close enough to strike. Just as it was about to attack, his mother acted. With sudden strength, she attacked the creature and managed to kill it, saving Spike's life at the very last moment. Meanwhile, in another part of the mainland, a group of soldiers was also fighting for survival. They were being hunted by a new kind of alpha zombie, far more terrifying than the rest. One by one, the soldiers fell, torn apart by the infected. In the end, only one soldier remained alive, badly wounded and barely hanging on. Not far away, something even stranger was happening. Among the zombies, one infected woman was pregnant. Spike and his mother continued their journey across the mainland. The path was dangerous and his mother's illness made things worse. Often she drifted into strange thoughts, remembering her past life memories of happier days, before the rage virus destroyed the world. Then Spike spotted a zombie moving oddly, dragging its body like a dragon crawling on the ground. Without hesitation, he drew his bow and shot an arrow straight into it, killing it instantly. But the heavy crash of the body drew the attention of nearby zombies. Within seconds, a group of infected began chasing Spike and his mother, running fast and closing in. Desperate for safety, they rushed into an abandoned gas station. The building reeked of fuel and the air was so thick with fumes it was hard to breathe. Things grew worse when the zombies forced their way inside, surrounding them. Just when it seemed hopeless, the surviving soldier appeared. He set fire to the zombies, the blaze consuming them, and saved Spike and his mother at the last possible moment. Catching his breath, the soldier explained that he had survived by pure luck. But his words brought more fear. He told them that once someone stepped onto the mainland, returning to the island was not only difficult, it was impossible. The roads were swarming with infection. There was no safe way back. Together, the three of them moved forward, searching for shelter. Spike's mother, though still weak, began to feel a little better. Then ahead of them they saw a train. Inside they found the pregnant zombie woman Spike had seen earlier. She sat eerily, still pale like a ghost. Despite the danger, Spike's mother insisted on helping her. Moments later, the woman gave birth to a healthy baby. But as soon as the child was born, the zombie mother suddenly awoke. With a terrible scream, she turned feral again and lunged at them, ready to attack. But the soldier acted quickly and killed her before she could do any harm. Afterward, he warned Spike's mom to leave the newborn behind, calling it a monster that could be dangerous. But she refused. With gentle hands, she cradled the baby, convinced that an innocent child could not harm them. Before they could argue further, an alpha zombie appeared and attacked the soldier with terrifying strength. In a brutal instant, it tore off his head. Horrified, Spike and his mother ran, the creature chasing close behind.